done a little bit of everything, but now he's functioning as a songwriter and working exclusively.
Country music has given us unforgettable voices, timeless songs, and stories that touch the heart. But behind the fame and the melodies, some stars face struggles that fame couldn't fix. From late-night tours to battles with addiction and heartbreak, these are the artists who paid the ultimate price for success. Join us as we explore 20 country musicians whose talent shined bright, even as their lives were marked by tragedy, sacrifice, and unforgettable stories. Number 20, Hank Williams Jr.
This is 82, it's still on there.
Yeah. Now, I'm guessing that there's a pretty good dough in this, huh?
Fantastic.
Fame found Hank Williams faster than his heart could handle. He was still young, barely grown, when his songs began traveling farther than he ever could. People heard his voice on the radio and felt like he understood their sadness. But few noticed how much pain he carried himself. The more popular he became, the less rest he got. Shows were booked back to back, nights turned into endless roads, and sleep became rare. His body hurt often, and instead of healing, he pushed forward because stopping felt like letting everyone down. As his name grew bigger, so did the pressure. There was always a crowd waiting, always another stage to stand on, even when he felt weak inside. To keep going, he leaned on pills and alcohol, not for fun, but just to survive the days. Over time, what helped him stand began pulling him apart. Friends worried, but the music world kept moving, and so did he. One cold New Year's Day, Hank never made it to the next show. He passed away quietly in the back seat of a car on his way to perform once again. He was only 29, his voice lived on, but the cost was his life. And heartbreakingly, he was not the only country star whose journey would end on the road. Another young voice, just as powerful, was also flying toward fame, not knowing the sky itself would soon fall silent. Number 19, Patsy Cline.
Family, the family side, because I've still been around her family a lot, and I see a lot of her.
Fame lifted Patsy Cline high, almost faster than she could steady her feet. Her voice was strong and warm, the kind that made people stop what they were doing just to listen. When her songs began climbing the charts, her life turned into a rush of stages, interviews, and long trips from one city to another. She loved singing, but the speed of success left little room to rest. Even after surviving a serious car accident, she returned to work quickly, afraid that slowing down might make the world forget her. Patsy cared deeply for her fans. She often chose small planes to save time so she could reach more people and keep her promises. The weather was not always kind, but she trusted the skies because the music could not wait. On one cold night in 1963, while flying home after a show, the plane carrying Patsy never reached its destination. She was only 30, and the country music world felt suddenly quieter, like a song cut off before its final note. Her death shook everyone because she had so much more to give. Yet what made the loss even heavier was that she was not alone on that flight. The same plane also carried another beloved country voice, a man who had spent years making people smile with his songs and humor. His story, just like Patsy's, showed how the road to fame often crossed dangerous skies, and he was just another star taken in that very same moment. Number 18, Cowboy Copas. Cowboy Copas had already lived a full chapter in country music before fame asked for even more. He was a father figure to many younger singers, steady and kind, with a voice that felt safe and familiar. Years on the road had taught him patience, and success never made him loud or careless. Still, even calm hearts must follow the rules of the business, and the business never liked waiting. That night, he boarded the plane not out of excitement, but out of duty. Fans were waiting, and shows had to go on. When the crash happened, it felt unfair in a quiet way. Cowboy was not chasing headlines or rushing toward glory. He was simply doing what he had always done, showing up for the music and the people who loved it. His passing reminded everyone that fame does not only break the young or reckless. Sometimes it takes the gentle ones too, the ones who never complained and never slowed down. But the sadness did not end there. News soon spread that another familiar face had also been on that same flight. He was known for his bright smile, playful energy, and songs that felt like friendly conversations. Audiences loved him because he felt like family. Losing one star hurt, but losing two felt unbearable. And then people learned there was a third voice gone as well, someone whose laughter once filled radio studios and stages alike. His journey showed that even joy can be fragile when fame keeps pulling you forward. Number 17, Hawkshaw Hawkins.
He was killed in the plane with Patsy Cline back in 1963. That was a month before I was born, and he had the number.
Hawkshaw Hawkins was the kind of performer who made people feel lighter just by stepping on stage. He smiled wide, joked easily, and sang as if joy came naturally to him. Behind that bright energy, though, was a man who rarely slowed down. Fame kept him busy, hopping from show to show, always trying to give people a good time. Traveling became normal, even when it felt tiring. That final flight was just another trip in a long line of journeys he had taken without question. When the plane went down, the loss felt unreal. 3 country voices gone in one moment left a deep mark on the music world. Hawkshaw's passing showed how quickly happiness can fade when life moves too fast. His laughter disappeared, but the warning remained clear. Fame often demands movement, even when rest is needed most. As the industry mourned, it became clear this tragedy was not a one-time heartbreak. Country music had already lost others to the same dangerous rhythm of non-stop travel. One man in particular came to mind, a rising star with a powerful voice and a restless schedule. He had tasted success young and pushed himself hard, often driving late at night to make it to the next show. His songs were full of adventure and pride. But the road that carried him forward would also be the one that stopped him forever. His journey would prove that not all dangers come from the sky. Number 16, Johnny Horton. Johnny Horton lived his life like his songs moved, fast, bold, and always forward. His music painted pictures of heroes, battles, and open land, and fans loved the energy he brought to every performance. Success came quickly, and with it came long drives between shows. He often traveled late at night, tired but determined, believing that resting could wait. The road became his second home, even when his body begged for a break. One night at 1960, while driving after a performance, exhaustion caught up with him. His car crashed, and just like that, his journey ended at only 35. The loss felt heavy because Johnny still had so many stories left to sing. His death reminded everyone that fame does not always arrive with protection. Sometimes it only adds speed, and speed can be dangerous when sleep is ignored. As fans mourned, many began to notice a painful pattern. The road, the sky, the endless movement, they were all becoming silent enemies. And while Johnny's story came from an accident, another country legend was fighting a slower battle. His voice was softer, his lyrics deeply personal, and his pain lived inside his body. Fame pushed him to keep performing, even as illness slowly drained his strength. He became a symbol of country music itself, yet behind the applause was a man growing weaker every day. His name was Jimmie Rodgers, and his price for fame would be paid not in one moment, but over many exhausting years. Number 15, Jimmie Rodgers.
The man, he started as an actor in the business, and then he has done a little bit of everything, but now he's functioning.
Jimmie Rodgers was loved not because he was loud, but because he was real. His songs felt honest, like letters written from the heart. People called him the father of country music, yet his life was far from easy. Even as his name spread across the nation, his health was quietly falling apart. He was fighting tuberculosis, a sickness that made breathing hard and rest necessary. Still, fame did not slow down for illness. Shows were booked, records were expected, and Jimmie kept going, even when his body clearly needed peace. He traveled constantly, coughing through train rides and performances, often too weak to stand for long. The applause gave him strength for a moment, but it never healed him. Doctors warned him to stop, but stopping felt like giving up the music that defined him. So he sang through pain, smiling for crowds who never knew how much each note cost him. Fame made him important to the world. but it also made him feel trapped by expectations. In 1933, Jimmie passed away at just 35. He did not pass away suddenly like others, but slowly, worn down by sickness and sacrifice. His legacy shaped country music forever, but the price was his life. Sadly, time did not teach the industry to slow down. Decades later, another gentle soul would face a different kind of sickness, one rooted in the mind rather than the body. Her voice was strong, her fame loud, but her inner pain was quiet and deadly. Her story would show that some battles are invisible until it is too late. Number 14, Mindy McCready. Mindy McCready's rise to fame looked bright from the outside. She was young, beautiful, and had a voice that felt honest and raw. Her songs climbed the charts, and suddenly everyone knew her name. But behind the cameras and flashing lights, Mindy was struggling to keep her balance. Fame came with attention she was not ready for, and every mistake she made became public news. Instead of being allowed to grow quietly, she grew under pressure. As the years passed, her life became a mix of music, heartbreak, and painful headlines. She battled addiction, unhealthy relationships, and deep sadness that never seemed to lift. Each time she tried to stand back up, the world watched closely, judging instead of helping. Even when she asked for space, fame followed her like a shadow. The more she hurt, the louder the noise around her became. Mindy loved her children and dreamed of peace, but the weight inside her grew heavier than the hope she held on to. In 2013, she lost her life, leaving fans stunned and hearts broken. Her story showed that success does not protect the mind, and sometimes it makes the struggle even harder. Yet Mindy was not the only country artist crushed by inner pain. Years earlier, a soft-spoken man with a voice full of emotion was quietly drowning in alcohol, hiding his sorrow behind gentle songs. He was deeply loved, but deeply lost. Number 13, Keith Whitley. Whitley sang like he was whispering secrets to the soul. His voice was calm and tender, the kind that made people feel understood without needing many words. Fame finally found him after years of struggle, and when it did, it came fast. His songs climbed high, and the future looked wide open. But behind the success, Keith was fighting a battle he had carried for a long time. Alcohol became his hiding place, a quiet escape from fears and sadness he did not know how to explain. The more his career grew, the harder it became to slow down. Shows, recordings, and expectations filled his days, leaving little room to breathe. People around him saw the talent, but few saw how tired his heart was. He wanted peace, but fame kept pulling him forward, telling him this moment was too important to miss. So he kept going, even when he was slipping. In 1989, Keith's life ended suddenly from alcohol poisoning. He was only 34. The shock was deep because his best work felt like it was just beginning. His passing proved that quiet people can be hurting the loudest, and success does not always heal old wounds. As fans mourned, country music faced another painful truth. Addiction was not rare in the industry, and Keith was not alone in that struggle. Years later, another gifted singer would walk a similar path, chasing success while fighting habits that slowly closed in on him. His life would show how fame can keep someone stuck in a cycle they cannot escape. That man was Johnny Paycheck, and his story would be just as heavy. Number 12, Johnny Paycheck. Johnny Paycheck lived like every day was loud, fast, and uncertain. His voice carried grit and truth, and his songs spoke for people who felt pushed around by life. Fame loved that rough edge, and fans connected deeply with his honesty. But success also fed his wild side. Money came in quickly, and so did trouble. Instead of slowing down, Johnny leaned into hard living, believing he could handle it all. As his career grew, so did his struggles. Substances and alcohol became part of his daily life, not for fun, but to keep moving. Legal problems followed him, and at one point he even spent time in prison. Many thought his career was finished, yet Johnny kept coming back. Driven by music and stubborn hope, fame kept giving him chances, but it never taught him peace. Years of stress and unhealthy habits took a serious toll on his body, Even when he tried to turn things around later in life, the damage had already been done. In 2003, Johnny passed away after long health struggles, leaving behind a powerful legacy and a cautionary tale. His life showed how fame can give second chances, but still demand a heavy price in the end. And still, the list does not end here. Country music would soon lose another artist whose influence reached far beyond the charts. He was young, creative, and changed the sound of the country forever. But fame pulled him toward dangerous choices that burned too bright, too fast. His name was Gram Parsons, and his story would prove that some stars fade because they shine too intensely. Number 11. Gram Parsons. Gram Parsons was a man who seemed to live between two worlds, country and rock, tradition and rebellion. His music was daring, blending styles in ways people had never heard before, and fans adored him for it. But behind the fame and applause, Gram struggled with demons that no amount of music could quiet. Substances became a constant companion, a way to cope with the pressures of touring, recording, and the spotlight that never dimmed. Success came quickly, and with it came temptations he could not resist. He traveled endlessly, always chasing the next gig or the next idea, rarely stopping to care for himself. Friends worried, but the excitement of fame and the thrill of creativity kept him moving faster than his body or mind could handle. One fateful night in 1973, Gram passed away from a combination of substances, only 26 years old. His death stunned the music world, leaving fans to mourn not only the loss of a brilliant musician, but the possibility of what he might have become. Even after Gram, the echoes of fame's dangers continued in country music. Another talented artist, small in stature but enormous in talent, would soon feel the crushing weight of the spotlight. His career promised greatness, but pressures of the industry and personal struggles would lead him down a dark path. Number 10. Troy Gentry. Troy Gentry was a force on stage, full of energy and charm, making audiences feel like they were part of the music rather than just listening. Fame had embraced him as part of the duo Montgomery-Gentry, and the road seemed endless. Concerts, tours, and fans waiting in every city. He loved life, but constant travel demanded everything from him. Nights blurred into mornings, and even when he was exhausted, the next show called. The thrill of performing kept him going, but it also masked danger. Troy loved helicopters, seeing them as a fast way to get from one venue to the next, saving hours in a life that never slowed down. Yet even familiarity can be risky. In 2017, a routine ride turned tragic when the helicopter crashed, taking Troy's life instantly. He was only 51. The country world mourned a man who seemed untouchable on stage, but was human underneath, showing once again that no talent, no energy, no love for music could make someone immune to fate. Even as Troy's story reminded everyone of the dangers of constant travel, fame continued to weigh heavily on artists in quieter ways. Some stars faced battles within themselves, hidden from the public eye, struggling with sadness, illness, or mental pain that the spotlight could never ease. One of the most heartbreaking examples would later be Naomi Judd, whose career shined brightly, but whose inner struggles remained largely unseen. Number 9. Naomi Judd. Naomi Judd was a voice that carried warmth, hope, and a sense of connection to everyone who heard her. Together with her daughter Winona, she formed one of country music's most iconic duos, filling arenas with fans who felt every note deeply. From the outside, her life looked bright and full of success, but beneath the spotlight, Naomi carried struggles that few could see. Fame had brought her recognition and applause, but it also brought pressure, endless expectations, and an unrelenting schedule that left little space for healing. She battled mental health challenges for years, often hiding the depth of her sadness behind smiles, interviews, and performances. The more she achieved, the more she felt the weight of responsibility, not just to fans, but to her family, her legacy, and the industry that loved her. She spoke openly about the importance of mental health only later in life, hoping others could find help before it was too late. Despite these efforts, the internal battle never fully left her. In 2022, Naomi passed away, leaving the world stunned and hearts broken. She was a reminder that success and talent do not shield anyone from pain. Her story reflected a painful truth for many country artists. Sometimes the most dazzling stars struggle silently, hidden behind laughter and music. Another singer who faced similar private battles, though younger and equally brilliant, was Justin Townes' contemporary struggles echoed in his life. His name was Justin Townes Earle, and he would soon show how fame could mask deep inner battles until the end came too soon. Number 8. Justin Townes Earle. Justin Townes Earle carried music in his bones, the kind that seemed to spill out without effort. He grew up surrounded by melodies and songwriting, and the world quickly noticed his talent. His songs were raw, honest, and full of emotion, making listeners feel every word like it was their own story. Fame came steadily, giving him stages, fans, and recognition, but it also brought shadows he could not escape. Justin struggled with addiction for years, a battle he fought quietly while still performing for audiences who saw only the polished version of him. Tours, recordings, and the pressure to keep producing music added weight that sometimes felt impossible to bear. In 2020, Justin passed away at 38, leaving the music world stunned. His songs remain, a reminder of what brilliance can come from pain, and of how fragile life can be when the pressures of fame collide with personal struggle. His story is a reminder that even the brightest lights can dim too soon. Justin's journey mirrors the hidden struggles of many country artists who seemed unstoppable from the outside. Another singer, whose soft voice belied years of health battles, would later face a different kind of silent fight. His name was Hal Ketchum, and his story would show that even the gentlest stars can face enormous unseen costs in the world of country fame. Number 7. Hal Ketchum. Hal Ketchum had a voice that could calm a room, and lyrics that felt like heartfelt letters. Fans loved him for the way he made every song feel personal, as if he were speaking just to them. Fame came naturally, with hits and tours following one after another, but the life of a traveling musician left little time to care for himself. Behind the gentle smile and soft tunes, Hal was quietly battling serious health issues that made performing harder every year. He developed memory loss and other symptoms that slowly took over his life. The disease was invisible to many, hidden behind interviews, shows, and public appearances. Fame gave him applause and admiration, but it could not slow the progression of his condition. He continued writing, singing, and inspiring, even as his body and mind demanded more rest than he could take. Hal passed away in 2020, leaving fans heartbroken and reminding the world that even the kindest, gentlest artists pay a price for the life they love. His story reflected a quiet battle, yet the music industry also tells tales of heartbreak that explode suddenly, cutting lives tragically short. Another legend, whose fame brought wealth and acclaim, but also personal turmoil, would soon show just how dangerous the pursuit of success could be. Number 6. Mel Street. Mel Street was a man whose music carried the heartbreak of everyday life. His voice was rich and emotional, perfect for songs about love, loss, and longing. Fans felt like he was singing their own stories, and that connection brought him both admiration and pressure. Fame slowly crept into his life, offering opportunities to perform across the country, but it also came with long nights, constant travel, and little time to care for himself. Behind the songs that touched so many, Mel struggled silently. Alcohol became a refuge, a way to cope with the weight of expectations and the emotional toll of performing. Friends noticed the pain he tried to hide, but the demands of his career kept him moving, pushing the struggle further inside. In 1978, after years of battling depression and addiction, Mel Street took his life, leaving fans stunned and sorrowful. His death was a stark reminder that fame does not guarantee happiness, and that even the most talented artists can suffer deeply behind the curtain of applause. Even as the industry mourned him, the cycle continued. Another singer, known for his smooth style and catchy melodies, would also face the hidden dangers of fame, struggling privately with mental health and addiction. His name was Faron Young, a talented performer whose journey would reveal that success often comes with a price that is invisible until it's too late. Number 5. Faron Young. Faron Young was a gentle soul, with a voice that could make people smile and cry in the same song. He had a knack for storytelling, turning simple lyrics into vivid pictures that felt alive. Fans loved him for his charm and sincerity, and his career brought him stages, radio time, and recognition. But behind the applause, Faron carried a quiet struggle. Years of performing, touring, and keeping up with the demands of fame took a toll on his health and spirit. He faced personal battles that were largely hidden from the public eye. The pressures of constantly being on left him exhausted, and sometimes the weight of expectation was heavier than the joy of success. Fame gave him opportunity, but it also demanded sacrifices that left deep marks over time. Faron passed away in 2011, leaving behind a legacy of music that touched countless hearts. His story reminded the world that success often masks struggles, and that many country musicians quietly bear burdens fans may never see. Not long after, the music world would mourn another rising voice who carried his pain silently. Known for his outlaw style and emotionally honest songs, he battled inner demons while captivating audiences. His name was Luke Bell, and his journey would show that sometimes talent alone cannot protect a soul from the pressures of fame. Number 4. Luke Bell. Luke Bell was a country singer whose music felt honest and raw, full of heartbreak, hard living, and small-town stories. Fans loved his voice and the emotion in every song, but fame brought pressures that quietly weighed on him. Touring constantly and meeting industry demands left little time for rest or peace. Behind his warm smile, Luke struggled with loneliness and inner turmoil, feeling the weight of expectations even as his career grew. In 2022, he passed away, shocking the country music world. His story reminded everyone that talent and fame cannot always protect a person from hidden battles. This time, it was Joe Diffie, a man whose lively performances and joyful personality hid challenges that would eventually cut his life tragically short. Number 3. Joe Diffie. Joe Diffie was a lively performer whose songs made people laugh, dance, and feel joy. Yet behind the big smile was a man carrying struggles quietly. Fame had given him awards, hits, and fans across the country, but the constant touring and pressure to keep delivering took a toll on his health. In 2020, Joe passed away after contracting COVID-19, leaving the country music world stunned and heartbroken. His story showed that even those who seem full of life and energy are not immune to the costs of fame. Just as Joe's death reminded fans of the fragility of life, the industry also mourned another bright voice lost too soon. A beloved storyteller and gifted guitarist faced battles that fame could not heal. That man was Teddy Wilburn, and his journey would reveal that even legendary talent can face heartbreaking costs behind the spotlight. Number 2. Teddy Wilburn. Teddy Wilburn was part of a beloved country duo, known for his smooth harmonies and heartfelt performances. Fame brought him stages, fans, and admiration, but also long tours and non-stop pressure that quietly took a toll. Behind the music and laughter, Teddy struggled with personal challenges few could see, and the weight of expectations left little room for rest. His story reminded fans that even celebrated stars face hidden battles. Years later, another talented voice, Dan Seals, would experience the unseen costs of success, showing that even the brightest stars can pay a heavy price for fame. Number 1. Dan Seals. Dan Seals had a gentle voice that could make anyone stop and listen. His songs were heartfelt, full of emotion, and spoke directly to the experiences of ordinary people. Fame brought him recognition, hits, and a life many dreamed of. But behind the spotlight, he faced struggles quietly. Long tours, recording sessions, and the constant need to perform wore on him, leaving little time to rest or heal. Even success couldn't protect him from the stress and loneliness that sometimes came with fame. Dan's story reminds us that talent often carries unseen burdens.